Let's check out the Broken Bindings fantasy subscription book for the month of August. Welcome everyone to the Zillotronics channel, and for today I'll be taking a look at the Broken Bindings fantasy subscription book for the month of August. This is book 1 of the Susanna Clarke collection. Let's go ahead and get this opened up and we'll take a closer look. We have here the standard packaging from the Broken Binding, which is usually quite good. The black and yellow color scheme here, and I can hear the book kind of sloshing around inside. Hopefully it has arrived safe and sound. Let's go ahead and get this opened up. Here we have the packaging. Unfortunately, they kind of half wrapped the ends. I always like to see one couple wraparounds vertically with this honeycomb packaging material. Just give it a little extra padding. It does have some bubble wrap here, but just one extra layer, maybe 2 extra layers here will just make it even more protected, because you did hear it kind of moving around inside the box. So hopefully it's arriving here undamaged, so I guess we'll see. We have a little trading card here. Unfortunately, it's not a hologram or holographic. Just a standard one here, August 2026. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, Susanna Clarke. Author of artwork by Wiley Beckert. Hard to read this little thing. Card still looks quite nice. First one I've actually received from the Broken Binding. Oddly enough, I've opened up a number of these packages so far. We also have a cardboard bookmark here, kind of a cool broken glass display in the back. Think of me with my nose in a bookmark. Probably give these to my daughter, who is a reader as well. Maybe she'll enjoy the bookmarks. And we have the little gift package here. Let's go ahead and get this opened up. Right, here is the book. Corners look crisp, no smashed edges here. The dust jacket is slid down a little further and kind of wrapped around the edge there, just a tad. Not too bad. Overall, love the sprayed edges. Beautiful sprayed edges here. Let's go ahead and we'll take a closer look. All right, this one should be sewn bound. Got the headband here. Nice looking artwork. I've heard some complaints, people saying this looks a little blurry, which, yeah, I can understand. I think it's just artistic choice here on the actual cover art. And then you have a little bit of glossy mixed in with the matte. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but there's a little bit of glossy effects added to this little square device here. A little bit on the hand here, kind of gives it a cool effect. It is a wraparound dust jacket, as you can see here. Loving those sprayed edges. This is a pretty hefty book, pretty thick. A little bit of damage to my dust jacket on the edges here because it was pushed up a little further and probably moved around in the packaging just a tad, but it's not horrible. Go ahead and get this dust jacket off. Here is the dust jacket in all its glory. It's one-sided. This is what I'm talking about. There's a little bit of damage to this dust jacket, so it's a little bit dinged here in the corner, and the edge here is kind of crumpled down a little bit. Thankfully not horrible. Should be fine. And we have the book itself. It's pretty awesome looking little window here. Let's take a look at the full cover art. Super cool. So I'm assuming one of these is Jonathan Strange and one is Mr. Norrell. or Norrell, however that is said. Look at the in-paper art. Front and the back. I have heard reports of a few people having issues with their actual pages within, being some missing pages where somebody is actually missing one or two of the entire 16-page signature blocks, or there maybe, I'm not sure if there's 16 or 8, but there's multiple sections of missing pages. So I'm hoping I do not suffer from that as well. And also to note, they have seen complaints on Reddit and a few other sites where your sprayed edges are bleeding down onto the paper. And you can see it here. I've never really been bothered by this, but some people, we're talking about maybe doing a return for a little bit of bleed over. As long as it's not bleeding over on the text, making the text unreadable, for me, I don't really care. I mean, it's kind of a little bit ugly, but it's a very tiny problem for me. Tons of critical claims here. I'm a tier 2, so I don't get any kind of fancy signatures or anything like that. And these books look to be produced or actually printed and bound in Italy by Ecograph, typeset by Nugan Knowledge Works in India. A little bit of artwork here. Pages feel pretty good. Not super thin. I mean, you can see the text through it, as you can see here. For those who like to see the thickness of text, it shows you how paper thinness. It feels pretty decent. I mean, it's not horrible, but just to note and see more of the sprayed edges kind of bleeding down on the page. Maybe they didn't clamp these books tight enough, or maybe because the thickness of the books made it a little bit harder to spray the edges without having them bleed down into the pages. But overall, the pages feel nice. We got some very nice artwork. I'm not sure if it's multiple artwork throughout the book or not. They really take advantage of the entire page. So these text is going from wall to wall pretty much. So it is, you're gonna have to definitely open this book up pretty wide, and we'll see if it opens up nice and flat. Opens up not super tightly bound. So it actually lays down quite nice. I mean, that's pretty good for a pretty hefty book. Of course, it's just the size. It's going to make it kind of roll over a little bit. I'll flip through this and see if there's any more art. Yeah, there's art throughout. Black and white artwork. Not a ton. There's another piece I just went by. Another piece. Some more art. I'm seeing a decent amount of art spread through here, especially for some of these broken binding books were very limited in artwork. I'm seeing, at least double-digit number of art here. It doesn't look like they actually label what pages the art is on. Unfortunately, I always like when they do that. The illustrations by Portia Rosenberg, Jonathan Strange and Mr Norrell, Susanna Clarke. This is by Bloomsbury Publishing, London, New York, Oxford, New Delhi, Sydney. It does have a yellow ribbon bookmark, and if you can see that, it is sewn bound. Unfortunately, this Susanna Clarke collection, 2-book collection, so you'll be getting August and September will be book 2, is the last of the sewn bound books in the fantasy subscription for the Broken Binding, at least until next year. The next series is a 3-book series. I forgot the name of it, but it will be perfect glue bound. Disappointing. Thumbs down on that. But I'm glad these 2 books should be are both sewn bound. Definitely quite nice feel on the hardcover. Beautiful artwork. Beautiful book. I mean, just the sprayed edges look amazing. definitely just a eye-catching book. I mean, I really like the look and feel of this. A little bit of that's glue, or that's from a little chunk or ding or something. I don't know if that's just a piece of the book peeled off or something here, but once again, not a huge thing. Now, to compare with the previous fantasy subscription, we have Malice, John Gwynne. So to show you guys, they really stepped up the game with this on the sprayed edges. That, you know, that the Malice has the really nice front sprayed edges, but just plain black top and bottom, which is kind of not the greatest, you know, not the highest quality. It's definitely got blotches and splotches. Looks like they use the exact same ribbon bookmark, the yellow bookmark. This has a little bit nicer headband, but the artwork on them. But that just shows you the size of the two books. This one is significantly larger. Malice is, let's see here, 627 pages. Jonathan Strange and Mr Norrell is about 850 pages almost. So it's about 200 pages more. Both are sewn bound. I can't remember who did this, but here's the paper quality. You can check. So here's the paper and paper. So let's move this over here. And so the paper is quite similar. The text is a little bit sharper on Malice versus Jonathan Strange. This one actually lays down a little bit flatter. But this one, I'm going to say the paper is a little bit thicker. It's a little bit thicker on Malice. At least it feels a little thicker. And a little bit more margins. You got a little bit more margin, especially here in the gutter. Not, you know, not a huge difference, but just something to note. I forgot who actually produced it. I think it was, or who actually printed this. This one was printed by Lego, L-E-G-O Spa. And as mentioned, this one was printed by Elkograph. So if you guys are following all that, I'll give you a little bit more info. I'm going to try to flatten out this dust jacket a little bit better on the top edges that got crumpled in shipping. Yeah, it's right here. It's crumpled up just a little bit. I can flatten that out. Hopefully clean that up a little bit so it's not so banged up right here. Now, they did look like they used appropriate size dust jacket, because a few of my books I've received, the dust jackets are cut short for whatever reason, and you have exposed hardback. For a book like this, it doesn't really matter because your dust jacket and the actual hardback art pretty much are very similar, so I wouldn't notice. But one of the books I got from the Broken Binding, hardback's white, the dust jacket is like black or dark colors, and so the white hardback really sticks out. Anyways, that is a closer look at the fantasy subscription August book from the Broken Binding. That concludes the video where we took a look at the Broken Bindings fantasy subscription book for the month of August, which is Jonathan Strange and Mr Norrell by Susanna Clarke. This is part one of their two-part Susanna Clarke collection. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe, hit the notification bell, check out my website, zilla.com at z1lla.com, and hopefully I'll see you guys on future videos. Have a good one. See ya.